every event I should be looking quarterfinals or above, and that's the target for me at the Worlds, especially quarterfinals. Once I get there, we'll go from there and see where I can go. My year so far started slowly because I had a bit of a niggle at the start of the year, so I missed the first kind of 2 or 3 months, so it was more like it became a training block instead. And then I came back. I didn't perform too well in my first event in Croatia. It wasn't the greatest day. I lost my first fight. I think I actually fought okay, but I just, it's a judo, you can fight brilliantly and still lose the fight. So it all came together the next week in Baku. I took silver, won 3 fights. I beat a couple of boys who were in really good form. And then I had a really good final with the home favourite from Azerbaijan, the Nihat. And it was a good fight. I lost the fight unfortunately, but it was one of my best days, and it kind of confirmed my 3rd Grand Slam medals in 3 years, so that was quite a nice achievement for me as well. And since then it's been a bit sporadic. I've been fighting okay, but not to the level I know I can fight, and not the same level I fought the day in Baku. So the Masters I got 7th, I won a fight, lost a couple, and the Baku Games and Russia particularly were really disappointing events for me because I don't really think I hit the levels that I can hit. It's always a long block, so it's quite hard, and one of the things about judo is because it's a constant year cycle, there's no real rest time. You have to keep training, you have to keep working, and you lose a little bit of that energy level that you need to have to fight at the top level. So going into the Worlds, it's been a bit more of a longer break. There's been about a 4 or 5 week gap between the Worlds and Russia, so hopefully that means that things will come together. And when I first came back to training a couple of weeks ago, I had a week off after Russia, and when I first came back it was a bit of a struggle. But the training is starting to come together, things are starting to click, and it's starting to feel a little more like my old self. But it's been an interesting Worlds for me. I'm seeded again, so it's quite nice. I think I'm number 7 seed, so I get there's no such thing as a nice quarter in any event, and especially at the Worlds. I mean, there's some boys that aren't seeded that I could have first fight who are some of the world's best, but it should hopefully give me a little bit of a nice start and then go from there really. Taking a Grand Slam medal each year shows a bit of consistency, and it's like being the family for 5 of them a year, it's quite tough to do that. But I'd like to be more consistent. I'd like to be able to hit that level on every day, so that if I can walk out of this stadium thinking I fought to the level I know I can fight at, it's not as disappointing. Sometimes it's hard walking out of a stadium when you think that wasn't really me today, and especially, I mean, Russia was a real bad day for me. I walked out that stadium with a 7th place and some qualifying points and world ranking points, but to me, that's not good enough performance, and that's not the level I can hit. So going into the World Championships, I really want to push on, and I've had a 5th at the Worlds, 2 or 3 years ago, and I fought pretty well 2 years ago. Last year I didn't fight that great until I got to the fight with the Japanese boy, but I still got 2 wins out of last year as well. So I've had 4 wins out of the last 2 World Championships, but I've missed out on the quarterfinals both times, and just before the quarterfinals, and that's really disappointing. That's where I need to be. Every event I should be looking quarterfinals or above, and that's the target for me at the Worlds, especially quarterfinals. Once I get there, we'll go from there and see where I can go.